Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rohit and we are talking about the service catalog training. This is a real-time service catalog training. In this last video, we built a catalog item and this is our complete requirement. So I'll show you that in the how real-time, how we build the catalog item. In the first video, I show you that I'm building the catalog item by creating the user criteria and set that. Now in this video, we'll create a couple of variables. We'll talk about that, what is the variable set, how we can set the reference qualifier, everything we'll do one by one. So if you see in this variable sections, these are the variables we have to be created and this is as per our requirement and this is the workflow we have to be work for that. So we'll come one by one. So very first thing is that the first variables is called the requested by, and in the requested by we should set current logged in user. So whoever will be open that catalog item, their name should be populated as a requested by. So let's go back to our catalog item. So this was our catalog item and so far we have not add any variable. So let's start one by one. In this catalog item, if you scroll down, there is a bottom section called variables and variable set. So variable set is a combination of the variables. We'll talk about that little bit later, but let's first talk about the variables. And as per if you see here, what it is saying that we need to be create a variables called requested by, and then there it should be set the current logged in user. So let's do that. Here I am going to create a variable. Simply click the new button and we are going to create a variables. Once you click the new button, this page will be open. If you see, this is the variables and this is the new record. We have a different type. We are going to use or utilize, we are going to try to utilize maximum variables we will try to utilize. So let's say our case, first we are going to select a type called the reference, and in this case we need to be put the question. So as per our documentation or requirement, it says the requested by. Once you put the question and hit tab, the name normally by default automatically populated. If you want to change the name, you are okay to change the name. Now we will come to that. Once you select the type equal to reference, there will be another section will be visible that called the type specification. So we'll come all these tab one by one little bit later, but let's do one by one. So first it is asking that type specification is the reference. I have to select the reference field, or I want to select some table where it will be referenced. So let's say that I'll select the CC user table. So this table I will select that user, and as it is mentioned that it should be read only and it should be hard coded by current logged in user. So I'll do that read only by dictionary because none of the cases we are not making any mandatory anything in any of this scenario. So always it will be read only. So I just make that from the dictionary level. Also you have a call order. Order is a very important here. So based on the order, the catalog items variable will be shown one by one. So first order I'll put that 100 and simply save that. Once our order is saved, I'll refresh simply this page and I will be able to see this variable. You can see the first variable is visible and it's a read only. So as per our requirement sheet, it is saying that I should show a variable called requested by, and that should be current logged in user. So that is visible, and you can see that the current logged in user is not setting. So I need to set the default value as a current logged in user. So to do that, I simply have to go to the default view section. In this default view sections, I can put any value as a default. So it is a reference field. So it can hold the CSID. If you are not understanding, please ping me or post in the comment section. I'll discuss that. But here we'll put that I will type a code called JavaScript. So in this JavaScript, in the colon, whatever we'll write, it will be act as a server-side query. Okay. So to get the current logged in user, we'll type the gs.get user ID. This is our method to get the current logged in user, the ServiceNow code. I'll simply save that and refresh our page to see that current logged in user is visible or not. So let's refresh that and see it is visible or not. Now you can see the current logged in user is the my name and my name is visible. So it is always read only and it cannot be never changed. So that's the reason I mark as a read only from the dictionary level. Okay, so now this that is done. Next requirement is that you can see that we have a requirement called requested for and the manager. These two variable will be visible, and these two variable will be created as a the first field will be reference field and second field also will be reference field. We'll do one by one. In this case, we'll create a variable set. So first question is that why we created the variable previously and why we are not creating the variable, why we are creating again the variable set for the now case is that we are going to combine these two variable to a particular variable set, and wherever we need it, we can be use this question again and again for any of this particular catalog item. Remember that for the timing, when we create for external catalog item, we will understand that. Okay, so we are going to go to the left navigations here and then type the variable set, and in this variable set section you can create any variable set. Our case, we are going to create a new variable set. Once you click the new variable set, nowadays there is two options. One is the single row variable and this multi-row variable. For the timing, I am selecting the single row variable. Later, we'll definitely use the multi-row variable and set, and I'll show you that how or what is the benefit to get the multi-row variable. Now, question is that I should put that label. So let's say put that requester info. So this is my question name, and this is my backend name. So I'll put that, and then order will be, I'll put that 200 for the time being. Okay, and then I'll save that. In the variable set, you can create multiple variables. So like that, the previously what we used to do inside the catalog item, we are creating the variables. Now we created a variable set, and inside the variable set, we are going to create multiple variables. So let's create two variables. First variable name is called requested for and manager. We'll do two variables. So first variable will be order equal to 100, and in this case we'll put that request for, and then type will be, again I will select the reference. Okay, now again, if once we select the reference, it is asking to the reference table the way it was asking the earlier. So we'll say that user in bracket sys underscore user, and this time we are not putting any default value. We will take the input from the user, but remember that what they are asking that only active user can be selected. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll select as a active equal to true. So this is the reference qualifier. It means that it will query to this sys user table and only display that particular all this user. Okay, so we'll just submit that variable. So inside the variable set, we have right now one variable called requested for, and another variable I am going to create called requested for manager. Let's do that. So this time again it will be reference field, and here I will put the requested for manager. For your reference, I will quickly do that same thing. Now order, I'll put the 200 and simply submit that. Alright, so in this requester information, we have a two variable. One is called request for, another is the requester manager. Now I'll go back to the catalog item and attach to this variable set. So we'll click edit and then attach to this variable set, because the variable set was created earlier. I'll simply select this request for information and simply save that. So in this way, these variables, these two combination of variable can be used multiple catalog item, not only the single catalog item. So if I create any variables to the particular catalog item, these variable will be only available for this catalog item. But if I create the variable set, and the variable set, if I include multiple variables, this variable set can be used across the whole platform. I'll tell you that, or I'll show you that example of that. Now, if I refresh this, before that, let's see that this order is 200. Now, if I refresh that, you will be able to see there will be two more variables, which is requested for and requester manager. Okay, you can see this is the requested for, and I can select the user, and the requested manager, I can also select the manager name. Now what I'll do that, based on the selection of this requested for, requester manager will be pre-populated. We'll do these steps later. But for the timing, if you see, they are coming in a single layout. We can change simply to one column to the two column. Just save that this layout and simply refresh that catalog item. You'll be able to see the differences. You can see now requested for and requested manager are split into the two parts. One is the previously it was coming in a single parts. Okay, so that's it. We are going to select. We based on our selection will populate that in our later part. But at that moment we created this catalog item. Now what we'll do, the next steps as per our requirement is that we have to create one field called actions, and that will be mandatory. So we'll revisit that, but as you can see the requested for will be mandatory. So we'll mark that requested for as a mandatory, and then actions field we need to be create as a mandatory. So these two variables are created. Now I'll go back to the catalog item. Inside the catalog item, I'm going to create one more variables called actions, and let's create that quickly. Order equal to 300. So 200 we use by utilizing this variable set. So we are going to use the order equal to 300 now, and this time the type will be select box, and question will be action. Okay, it will be automatically pre-populated, and as it is says the action will be mandatory, will mark as a mandatory, and simply save that. Once we save that, the actions fields will be visible on the bottom. Let's see, let's refresh our form. After this, the actions field is visible, and here there is no choice. But as per our documentation, what it is saying that I should have actions called add or remove. So what it is saying that this form is used to remove or add user to a group. So I should be give the user ability to select add user or remove user. So what I'll do, I'll go back to this variables, and if you see right now, for select box there will be one related list in the bottom, and here you will be able to see this question choice. We'll put that add groups to user. That will be one text, and then value will be the same. I'll put the same. Similarly, I'll put the remove. So these two questions we are going to create and simply save that. And as it is mark as I mark as a mandatory. So let's save that and refresh our form. So we are gradually building our form. So let's refresh our form and see these changes are reflecting or not. So right now you can see add user, remove user is showing, but I don't want to by default select the add groups to user. What I'll do, I'll go back to the actions, and then we'll select that type specification. Under this type specification you have a call include none. Once you select that include none, by default value will be that none value. Let's refresh that form. Now we can see the by default value is action is none, and I can select add user or remove user. So this option is available for me right now. The next question came to that I have to create a field called add group name, and that will be a reference field, and another is the remove group name, and that will be a list group name. So let's do that. I'll go back to the catalog item again. If you have any doubts or any question, please let me know in my comment section. I'll try to put your answers. So far we have a 100 as a requested by, 200 in the requested information, 300 as an action. So we are going to create one more variable called groups, add group. Type will be again reference, and then our quotient will be add group name, and then type specification reference table will be the groups. Sys user group. So this table we are going to point, and then here the reference qualifier will put that active is true and group manager is not empty. So we'll pull all this group is not empty. So what does it mean that? I'll quickly show you that. And then as per the next, what it asks that removed group name, I have to create one more column called removed group name. And this case, the type will be the list. So we'll do that quickly. I'll simply go back to this catalog item and create one more variables called removed group name. And this order will be 400, and I'll create one more quotient called 500. Order will be 500, and the quotient here will be removed group. And this time we'll select as a list, and then type list table, we'll select that group sys user groups and submit. So let's see what is the difference right now. So if I refresh here right now the form, so we have a request requested by default, and it's a mandatory. We have a requested for, request manager name, action, and we have a add group name where I can select the group. We have a remove group name, and if you see there is a small difference. This is the reference field and this is the list collector. So list collector can allow you to select multiple groups name, and reference fields allow you to select only one group name. Okay, going back to that, we'll discuss that one by one, and then after that they ask me to create one field called reasons, and reason should have two value. One is the new member or other. So I'll quickly create that variables too. We'll scroll down. So far we have a 500. I'll create one variable called 600. Here quotient will be reasons, and type will be, in this case, we can say that select box, same thing, and order will be 600. Okay, and that will be always mandatory, let's say, and include none, and simply save that. So if I scroll down, I am able to see the reasons fields, but there is no drop down because I need to create some quotients here. I mean some choices here. So what will be there? New, higher, and other. Save that. And refresh. So I should have two more options called So I'll put that others equal to 200 and save that and refresh our form. So this catalog item is pretty much built. We have one more section. If you see here, I'll simply scroll down. Reasons. because their value, we have not put their value, so we'll put that value. Simply save that, and let's see, it should be down right now. There should be two drop down. So if I scroll down, there is two drop down called new hire and then other. And then last, we have a brief descriptions. We'll create these fields also. I'll go back to the catalog item and build that fields too. So after 600, it will be 700. I need to create one this time. This will be not the single multi-line text, so people can put a lot of information. So I'll copy these and paste that. There should not be any space on the name, and simply put the order equal to 700 and save that. Okay, so let's refresh that. Now our form pretty much ready. So brief description is a multi-line text. You can put a lot of information here. Remove groups, you can select the groups. Add groups, you can see a lot of groups. Now our next exercise will be, we should put based on the requested for, we should populate the requester manager name. That's the one thing. And also when somebody select action equal to add group, then add group, this field will be visible. When somebody click remove group, then this group will be visible. When somebody select the new hire, this brief description will not be mandatory, and when somebody select other, this brief description will be mandatory. Those things will come up later, but let's see what others documentation say. We are asking to create one more field called add status, but that field will be only visible on the task, so I'm not going to create at that moment. Current logged in user, and it is setting read only. Requested for, it will be active user, and it will be active user, and it should be mandatory. So select the request. So this is the annotation. They asked me to put the annotation, so we'll copy this one and go back to the requested for variables. So I'll show you that what is the annotation. So if you want to put extra information for the user, you can put the annotation here. So I'll simply go back to the annotation sections. You can see show help text, and here you have an option called always expand, and in the help text you can put any message. Once you put this message will be visible on the after these fields. So let's see, I'll refresh that, and you can be able to see that annotation or the message. You can see the extra messages are coming, but again, this is not looks good because they are not in the same level. For this one, I should put some some annotation or some message. We can do that. So if you see here, for this one, we can remove that, and if you click the help button, again it is visible, right? So if I move this from here, from help text to instruction, and save that, and let's see what differences it's making. So this is just now saved. If I refresh right now, there is no much differences. You can just toggle and then remove. So, but only difference is that you can put some extra HTML content here in this instruction. That's it. Okay. Now what we'll do here, we probably put the same message for requested for to put them to in the length. Also, we have a options called always expand. So if I refresh that page, by default the message is showing, and I need to be cross that, right? You can see the by default this message is showing, and I need to cross that. if I, because this was checked, if I uncheck that and save that and refresh that form, and let's see what is different, what makes more differences. So you can see, if I uncheck that always expand, the value is, or the text is not visible until unless I select this one. Okay, so that's the difference here. If you want to show this message always whenever the form is loading, you can do. Otherwise, just uncheck that always expand button. So this message will not be loaded by default automatically. So this all about today's variables and variable set. One more thing I just want to highlight here. We set couple of reference qualifier. If you remember that in this requested for, we selected that active equal to true. It means that if I go back to the CC user table, and if you see in this group member, I cannot select any deactive user. So let's say, so this able tutor user is active. So if I search here, I can select that user, right? But if I deactivate this user in from the CC user table, and if I try to select the able tutor, I will not be allowed to select that. So that is the reference qualifier that helps you to select that particular user or particular particular record. Okay, so if you are selecting or if you are creating any reference fields that help you to select that particular user. So I selected that active equal to true. So in this user table, you can select any of these fields, like their name should be started with A or name started with Z. Their role should be something like that. Their email address should be @example.com. Whatever you will put as a qualifier into that here, those record only be visible to the form. Other than that, it won't be visible. So this all about today's sessions and the variables, variable set, and the reference qualifier. In the next sessions, we'll talk about that, how we can populate from this value to this requested for information to the manager, how we can mark this, based on the action, how we can hide or show these fields. We'll discuss this one by one. So till the time, thank you very much. Have a great day.